Hello dreamers, welcome to Disney Dreamlight Valley. Today we're going to take a look at the top 10 features, bugs, changes that were introduced in this update that potentially are not very well known. Some may say some secret features. Let's make a deal. If you learn one new thing from this video that you didn't know about the update, you have to subscribe to the channel. I think it's fair. We're trying to reach 40,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and we need your help. All right. Deal. Let's get right into it. Now, a lot of these things are going to be about the Storybook Vale, and we're going to begin with the trial portals. Now, this one is huge. I don't know why they did this, but they have changed the way the portal to the trials look. If you remember before, it was totally different. It was just a bunch of ink coming out of the ground. And not just that, it also shows you an actual trial that lies behind the portal, so you can have an idea what to expect when you get on the other side. That is an incredible change. I like these portals way more. Now the next one is going to be disappointing. So developers have added, at one point they added to the patch notes that they were going to give us an ability to convert extra snippets into the storybook magic. And yet somehow they did not add this feature to the update. And they also removed it from the patch notes. So my guess is, at some point, it was going to make it into the update, but then maybe they found a bug or an issue, so they decided to not release it right now and remove it from the patch notes. Once again, that's just my guess. But it was a highly anticipated feature because storybook magic is incredibly difficult to grind, and converting snippets into the storybook magic was something that a lot of people have been asking, and that will be a perfect solution to the problem. So I hope when we get a hotfix, they're gonna actually release this mechanic, and we definitely need the hotfix. One thing I'm really sad to say is that this update is very buggy. It might be one of the buggiest updates that we have ever gotten. We're gonna touch on some of the biggest bugs in this video, but there is also lots and lots of very small bugs. Speaking of bugs, number 3. There is a very annoying and very frequent bug that is completely new, where if you sometimes exit or enter the house, or teleport, or just load into the game, sometimes, or even exit the camera mode, like basically anything that involves the movement of the camera, zooming in, zooming out, stuff like this, sometimes the camera can get disconnected from a character, and when that happens, the whole game breaks. You literally cannot access anything. You can technically use the teleport, but the camera is never going to get reconnected, and at some point the game is going to freeze and crash. So that happened to me 3 times! 3 times on the first day. And here's one of those times. This is really annoying. I've seen a lot of people report this bug. I literally just loaded into the game and I'm already glitched. My camera just disconnected from my character. I cannot do anything. It's just floating around. I cannot teleport. I cannot use... Like, I literally can't do any... Oh, wait, I can't teleport. But even if I teleport, my camera is not where it's supposed to be. This happened to me twice already today. So... yeah, I have also seen multiple reports of people having the same issue, and the only way to fix this is to restart the game. So that is a massive bug that needs to get fixed as soon as possible. Number 4. Now this one is a little bit weird. So you know how before, once you've completed the task in the star path, you could just click down, just like in the Dreamlight duties. You click the arrow down and it opens the list of your duties. So they changed it. Now it's still down for your duties, but it's left, like literally arrow button left to open the star path menu. I personally like this change because before you only could do this, basically it would be the same button for both, and the only difference would be whichever task was completed last. So if you just completed the Star Path task, it would get you to the Star Path menu, but if you completed the duty, it would give you to the duty menu. If you completed both, then you had to do multiple clicks. Now, press down, it's Dreamlight duties, press left, it's Star Path duties. Super good change in my opinion. Okay, the next glitch is hilarious. Sometimes when you get an item in this update, it actually happens very often. Didn't happen to me, but I've seen a lot of people post about it. They would get like a highly zoomed in version of an item. If it's an outfit, you're gonna get a giant picture of an ankle. If it's an item, you're gonna get the giant like zoom in on a random part of that item. So it's kind of hilarious because before I literally saw in patch notes they said they fixed the ability to fix the glitch where the item sometimes would appear closer in the premium shop. So now they made it appear closer everywhere, not just in the premium shop, including premium shop. I've seen people posting pictures of the new house when it's zoomed in on the leaves really hard. So this is one of the things I noticed about this update. And once again, I'm usually pretty positive, and I'm all about second chances and fixing things. But it seems like this update is really, really broken. And a lot of things that are broken were actually the things that were in patch notes and listed as fixed. They said they fixed the inkeys not counting towards the duties. They still don't. They still don't. Only the inkeys from the bind or the large inkeys count towards the mission. Pretty sure the same way as it was before. So you either have to find the large ones or you have to collect the small ones in a bind. If you're out of those, then you still cannot complete the task. I still saw people posting pictures that they still get the flower spawns under the bridge, and removing them causing the game to crash. Well, granted, it didn't happen to me, but it still happens to a lot of people, and I wonder why. There were still saw photos of items spawning in inaccessible locations. We still can't get any story magic from Inkies. Now, granted, that one wasn't in the patch notes, but that is a very, very needed feature. There is still issues with the characters being... Sometimes when you use the teleporter, you just teleport and float above the island at a random spots in the waterfall. All of those glitches are still here, and even though some things did get a little bit better, a lot of stuff in the patch notes did not get fixed or got almost fixed. Like there's like it fixed for most people, but not for everyone. At least one thing they fixed that I'm very grateful for is ability to interact with lights on the storybook veil. It is huge. We can finally turn those on at any time, and I really appreciate it. Well, the next one is Snippet Wing is now a glider, so it wasn't a glider before. Now every single wing in the game is a glider, so you can see the flying animation and pose with these wings. Honestly, flying is just so good. Like, this is one of the smallest changes they introduced, and also the one that's one of the most impactful. It's so good. I love these wings so much. They go so well with the spacesuit. Now, the next one is super exciting, and it's the fact that the characters can finally sit, and not just that they can sit, they actually like sitting a lot. I constantly find characters sitting on every bench in my valley. It's like they get tired immediately, and I cannot take 2 steps without plopping down. Like, look, I put these 3 benches. There's almost always someone sitting on it. They sit, they do not get interrupted, so you can literally sit near the characters if you want it. They would sit for solid 15-20 seconds. They would do their sitting animations. It's beautiful. Now we can finally use sitting animations in Dream Snaps. Before it was literally impossible. Also, it feels... I might be imagining this, but I feel... look at this, how long she's been sitting and talking. And I'm just walking around her and she doesn't care. I've seen multiple characters sit at the same time. Basically, the chair is now like, look, she sit for the 2nd time and she's still sitting. They finally fixed it. It's absolutely fantastic. Making sitting, like, I can finally maybe make my dream come true, is make a dream snap with 3 characters sitting at the same time. That's gonna be hard, but definitely possible now. Also, the characters seem to be more responsive. I had a lot of people say, and my own experience, the characters don't run away anymore as much. It still happens very rarely, but it's much better now. I've also noticed that they get stuck much less, and they do their animations much more consistently. Now, I didn't have a chance to properly test it in the Dream Snap Spiral conditions, but just from a few experiences that I had, I did not have any issues with them, like, not triggering their poses and stuff like this. So it's definitely a huge change. Next one, we can now place the water items inside some items that have water in them. For example, watering hole. You have a whole grid on top of it, just like the table, and you can put items in it. Now, granted, the items for some reason are floating above the level of water, but who cares about small details? At least now we can make these items feel so much more alive. So I don't know exactly every item that can do this, but I know at least one more. Okay, so I tested the Nala's waterfall, and this little item, they don't allow you to place anything. So the only two items that I found are watering hole and relaxing oasis. This item is beautiful. You can put a lot of stuff inside. It looks amazing. If you found any more items that can be that can have water items placed inside, please let me know in the comments. Now, the next issue is with the Sally quest, and not to spoil, like, I don't want it to be a spoiler, let's just say there is a lot of people who cannot do this quest due to certain items spawning inside certain houses in certain places that cannot be reached. And it's not just one place, it's literally every house where it can spawn. I've seen people having it spawn in the area where you cannot reach it. It's the same as the one with the little scroll spawning in Ursula's cave. It just doesn't, it just, I mean, is it Ariel or Ursula? One of those. It spawns behind the chair and you cannot reach it, and it was supposed to be fixed. It was in the patch notes. It was not fixed. So now we're having the same issue with the Sally quest. I didn't do my Sally quest yet, but I hope I don't get any stuck items because it might take a while for them to fix. But I feel like with all of the issues we're having, we need a hot fix really, really quickly. Now I just want to mention a few things that I thought are cool about this update. This is nothing that you probably don't know yet, but we can rotate items now. In case you manage not to notice it, we can rotate literally every item in the game, and I think it's beautiful. We can rotate everything except paths and fences. One item I noticed you cannot rotate is the gardener, ancient gardener, because it has to create square grids, so it makes sense. Everything else, carpets, everything can be rotated, and I'm very happy to see that they actually went a very, like, I was afraid about the rotation, that they were gonna make it that you won't be able to, like, the footprint was gonna get bigger, much bigger than it was in the regular position. But I feel like they found a good compromise. It's like some squares are even smaller, some squares are slightly tiny little bigger. So it's like, it's a very good conversion. I feel like it's very fair. You can still get items pretty close to rotated items. One thing I'm not, like, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it with this kind of system, is that you cannot just make rows of rotated items. So, for example, you cannot put two rugs side by side, making it like a straight path. You are gonna have to place them a little bit down from one another just for it to match. So we cannot make like diagonal runways with carpets, but it's still an amazing feature, and I'm so happy it's here. It's gonna make decorating so much easier, but it does have some limitations. And final thing I wanted to mention is floating islands. I'm gonna release a whole video about floating islands tomorrow, where we're gonna go through all of the details, features, limitations, and ideas for the floating islands. But one thing I just want to mention in this video is that these islands have no item limit. If you go into the furniture, there's no item limit, which means you can decorate it to your heart content. Now, there is still a chance that there is a hidden item limit, but I don't think there is, because it's going to be literally impossible to cram over 3,000 items in this place. Also, even if you do, I feel like even on Switch, since it doesn't load an entire valley and it's a very limited space, I really don't think there is an item limit. There is just no point. Even if you cram 10,000 items in here somehow, which is actually impossible because the amount of squares, let me tell you exactly how many squares we got. Small squares. So if you, for some unknowing reason, decide to make, like, literally fill every single square with 1 by 1 items, you can only fill up 16,900. So you could technically put 16,900, for example, little Mickey lamps. They take 1 square. If somebody has some free time and lots of coins and you want to test out if there is an actual limit by placing 10,600, I mean 16, 6, What was the number it just said? 16,900. 1 square items. Please tell me in the comments, is there a limit or is there not a limit? But I'm pretty sure if you're just decorating this regularly, you are not gonna even get close to the item limit. Alright, this is all I got for you today, guys. Update, overall, I'm very excited about it. I think it's a great update. We got a lot of great features. And as they say, with great features comes great amount of bugs. It could not be more true for this update. It feels like the more good stuff we get, the more bad stuff comes with it. I hope, all I can say, guys, I wish we get the hotfix very, very quickly. Stay patient. Enjoy the things that do work. Even if you're stuck at some point, if something doesn't work right now, I'm sure developers are aware. Feel free to, like, definitely submit a ticket to Gameloft so they know which issues are a priority. They're gonna fix it, they're gonna release a hotfix, and it's gonna be the best update of all times. It still feels like an incredible update. I cannot wait to start decorating. I cannot wait to play around with the floating islands and all the items rotations. It's gonna be glorious. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all my amazing supporters. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye.